Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. Now, it's been a little while since I've recorded, as I have been sick for some time and haven't really been able to record as a result. You may hear me cough from time to time, and my voice might be a little off, but I have recovered more or less, and we're going to go ahead and get right back into things. Now, from what I remember, we've been struggling lately, and our team overall is ranked 6th, even though we are supposed to finish, or predicted to finish, in 4th. Now, we're not that many points off of that point, but it's not really good to be sitting where we are right now, so we really need to turn that around. Now, if we take a look at things, it looks like we just finished a race, so we can't improve any parts or do any of that. I am working on building suspension, which we'll have in 5 days. So let's go ahead and advance here and get our car repairs complete, which we'll see in the inbox. And let's go to improving our parts. So right now we have an engine that's not particularly reliable. More than likely, we're going to want to stick on reliability for the meantime. But most of the rest of the reliability of our parts are in more or less an acceptable range. We're getting above 70% here. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty happy with what parts we're already improving. And we're going to have suspension coming out in 5 days, so we might as well stick with that as well. I might do a little bit of improving the parts themselves. Now, as far as things go, I have improved the engine as much as it can be improved. I've improved the brakes. Not quite as much as it can be improved. I can do one more level there. I can do one more level of gearbox. Now, I have to consider the fact that I won't really benefit from those improvements next year, because next year we'll have a spec gearbox because the vote went against us on that one. But we could still improve it for this year. And then we're working on our last set of suspension right now. So with that in mind, what are we improving? We are improving these brakes, which probably we don't want to do anymore, because the next thing we'll probably build is the next level of brakes. So instead, let's focus on improving parts that we know we're going to be stuck with. So I think we should improve this other engine, because it's actually below the other engine's point. So we'll do that. And I'm going to go with 1010 for now, just so we get some improvement on our parts, but can also improve our reliability slightly. Once we get that suspension built, I'll probably switch to full reliability so we can get some of these things nice and reliable. So let's go through here as far as reliability and just make sure we're improving the things that we need to improve. I guess, well, again, we've already just talked about the fact we'll probably be building new brakes as soon as this suspension is done. So I'm probably not going to improve the reliability of the brakes, although I could switch over to these brakes here, but it's only a difference of 1 percentage point. And I always like to have my engines a little bit more reliable, so we'll keep it as is for now. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue until we have the suspension built for them. Probably, more than likely, that's where we're going to go to. And there we have it. We're going to be told as much. The first thing I'm going to do is design a new part, because I don't want to forget about it. So let's go to brakes. Again, we could do another level of gearbox, but we'll get the brakes done faster. And it's likely we'll be able to use the brakes for this upcoming race. Whether or not they'll be reliable enough, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Any case, any building of parts that we do will improve our lead designer. And he's actually come up a bit, I think, lately. And we're almost to his max potential, which is good. All right, so let's go through. We want to have as much max acceleration as I think we can get, and I'd rather not have the risk level if I can avoid it. Over here, we're going to do plus 2 days and get plus 15 to max and plus 20 to acceleration, or I can take a risk level. I'd rather not do that, so let's go ahead and do the extra time, because the reliability, as much as we will for sure be able to use the part, I'd rather have more stats. And then our last level, matter of fact, we could probably, yeah, honestly, I think that's the way we're going to go. And then we can do, these are both risk level. And this is only really applicable during certain points in time. So this is where we have a little bit of a dilemma, because there's nothing here that I feel like benefits us without risk level. We could take stats and just take that risk level and deal with the fact that we might get caught and might get demoted. So I really don't like taking a bonus that is only applicable some of the time, especially with wet tires and inters. That's very specific. This is a tough call. I really have not taken risk level in the past, and our designer has no way of actually removing risk level. There is no attribute that they have that does that. So I think I'm going to take the risk level. I kind of don't like it, but it's the first time we've ever done anything like that. And maybe it will benefit us for next year anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 7 days before the race that will be completed. It's going to cost us $900,000 to do, and it will be up to 330 and have a maximum of 383, which is pretty good. And that will probably put us close to the top as far as brakes go once that is completed. All right, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and take a look at improving our parts. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off this engine. We're going to need the other suspension turned on. And then from that, we've got this gearbox, which is at 75%. We're more than likely be replacing that, so I don't think it's important to really focus on that too much. We've got our other engine. Well, we already just turned that off. And we've got our brakes here, which is at 74%. We might as well do that, I guess. And we'll probably just be switching this one around every so many days so that it doesn't get too out of control. But I think we can let it go for a little while. All right, so we're on full reliability. We're improving these parts here. All right. Now, at this point, we're ranked 6th for both drivers and car. Rank number 2 for our headquarters, although we will be having our headquarters built in a couple weeks here. So might get done before the race happens. We'll have to see. Let's go ahead and continue. All right, so I'll continue here. We've got more scouting report stuff. Just to make sure I have stuff in the queue here, I'm just going to go through. Looks like we've got plenty in the queue, so I'm happy with that. We're going to have these couple events happen, both of which don't concern us, so I'm just going to continue through here. All right. All right, so we've got our upgrade. Matter of fact, that happened a lot. Oh, no, this is something different. Let's get an HQ upgraded. Can you promise me that will improve our test track? All right, so before I do that, let me take a look at where we are. So he wants us to improve our test track. We don't have... Wait, hold on. What is he asking for again? Let me just double check here. Promise made HQ upgrade. Okay, so if I come back in, he's asking for... He's saying test track. We don't have a test track. So I'm guessing he wants one. I'm not sure that's something I want to do, so I'm probably going to tell him no here. I don't like that because he's going to have a morale hit, but it is what it is, so I'm sorry, no way. I can't afford $8 million right now. I mean, you can go in the red, but I have other plans for that. That's something I would eventually want to do, but not something I want to do right now. We haven't even finished building our other headquarters, so let's take a look at Mustafa and just make sure his morale isn't too bad off. He's okay. I mean, he'll recover from that eventually. Let's take a look at Boris here. His morale is pretty much full. I think, if I remember correctly, we did have something that affected his morale at one point. And then she's pretty much on the same level. Oh, these are permanent traits. I thought it was only temporary before. Well, that's good. I'm glad to see that. All right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. I don't think we need to change the improving of parts yet. No, not quite. So we'll go a few more days here. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's check what we've got over here. More scouting reports. All right, so what I really want to do is improve parts. And at this point, we're at 79%, which that makes us pretty much one of the most reliable parts we have. So I'll turn that off for the meantime. And what else we got? We're going to have the next set of brakes coming up soon. Although I don't know if we'll be able to use it and prove it in reliability enough. What else we got that we're definitely going to be using? Well, we are definitely going to be using the suspension here. So I'll re-improve that. It's going to be kind of like hopping around quite a bit here. After I'm done with this, I'll probably switch back over to the engine. All right, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and continue a few more days. As a matter of fact, let's just go right to the design of the brakes finishing, which it will pause on. Okay. And then they're talking about the next vote, which is going to be the Cortez tires. I believe this has come up before. So these tires are up about endurance, where they're not as fast as the current tires we're using. And it's going to be happening in a week, so about the same time as the race is going to be happening, we're going to be having that vote. I don't care either way, so depending on whether I got bribed or not. I know there was a vote that I got bribed for, but I don't know if it was that one. But I'll probably vote maybe even for it. I'm not sure. All right, so the brake build is complete. Let's go ahead and go in here and improve the part so that we can get it maybe reliable enough to use. And that was a brake, that's right. So we'll be improving. So this does have a little bit of a risk level, but it is low. So I'll improve reliability here. And I think that will be good. And then, do we want to keep going with this gearbox for now? Or do we want to switch over to something else? I'm tempted to switch over to the engine, but I think I'll stick with it for at least a few days here. For sure, we'll be able to use the suspension and new engine, but I'm just not sure about these brakes. 7 days is, not a ton of time. Let's just make sure, though, it hasn't switched over to performance, because that would be a problem. All right, let's go ahead and continue here. And I'm going to go to Build Forecasting Center. So we're still second overall. Now, if I were to do a new headquarters, I'd actually probably want to upgrade, and I want to do an upgrade of our design center so we can get to the next level of, because this is going to unlock a lot of buildings for us. I think that would be a good idea. I just don't feel like maybe we have the cash for it right now. I mean, it'd take a lot of time to do, so it's probably better to get on it, now rather than later. But at the same time, I think I'll wait a little bit of time to see kind of where we're at. And let's go to our car. And at this point, I definitely am going to back off on the gearbox here, and I'll switch over to the engine. So we only got 4 days, and we've only really improved the reliability of the brakes 4%. And from what I remember of our driver, our mechanics actually, one thing I haven't done, and this is something that I realize maybe we're not doing correctly, is switching these guys to where they're best. So, all right, so it makes no difference which mechanic we have for reliability, but it does matter for performance. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. All right, now that we have that done, let's, and again, I want to make sure that we are on the right track for reliability. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so we're going to have that vote now. All right, it says it will benefit us. I'm going to vote for it, but I don't know which way the vote's going to go. Let's just skip to the end here. Speed this up. So far, yeah, it looks like it passed. So we're going to go with tires that have more endurance rather than speed. That's fine. Okay. So the next vote we'll be having is on groove tires. Okay. Okay. So they're not as fast, but they have a good compromise between performance and cost, 20,000 per race. I don't know how much the tires we currently are using cost us. I'm sure there is some financial breakdown of that somewhere, but I'm not going to really worry about it right this second. I don't know if I'll vote for that or not. All right, well, in any case, let's take a look at our parts here. So we're going to get above 50%, but that might not be good enough for the actual race day. So we'll have to see. More than likely, we'll be using that next time. And I realize now that I forgot to build our gearbox. So we missed out on a few days of that. Let's go ahead and build it now, though, before we forget. And this is going to be the last we do with the gearbox. So looking at this doesn't have risk level. Probably better off with this. Now that kind of hurts because we're probably not going to be able to use it next race because I kind of forgot to do it ahead of time. But it saves us time, though, this way. So let's do this. And then our last point, we could get rid of a risk level, which doesn't help us at all. It looks like we're going to go with another risky part here because this doesn't really benefit me unless I do something over here that's risky. And it just cost me money to get rid of that, which, you know, this isn't really all that great. Or I could do this and get a little bit of risk level. Yeah, we'll go for it. Maybe it'll give us a chance to push ahead a little bit at the end of the season. All right, so we've done that. Let's go ahead and build the part. It's going to cost us quite a bit, but we'll be okay, I think. All right. Now let's go ahead, go to the race day. All right, well, we have been struggling. I could go with 16th or above and get guaranteed cash because it would be, in my opinion, very hard for us not to get 16th or above. But I think I'm going to go with the 4th or above again, just because that reward of cash is worth it. And if we get 4th or above, it'll definitely be a good thing. All right, let's fit our parts now. I am not sure. We're more than likely not going to be using the brakes. They just don't seem reliable enough for me, so we're going to stick with the brakes we already have. As far as the engine goes, well, we definitely have a better engine to use, so I will switch over to that now because it's just as reliable. And we're going to be giving that to Boris, and that's not going to make Mustafa unhappy because it's only an improvement in Boris's engine, and his engine's still better. I have a feeling we're not going to be able to make this switch without making Mustafa. Oh, that's interesting. Why would that make Boris less happy? Because, oh, I'm getting them backwards. Whoops. No, that's still good. I keep forgetting that this is our worst car because normally speaking, this would be your number 1 car and this would be your number 2 car. And last time I played, I was playing with the Predator Racing Group, where that is the case, where this is the better car. All right, so I got to keep that in mind. So we're thinking orange here for Boris. Okay. So it's mostly suspension here that we'd be improving. So we switch over to that, and that doesn't make... I mean, technically, he's unhappy, but it's not enough to make him really upset about it. We could switch it like this, and that would make him less unhappy about it. But honestly, I don't think it really matters. I mean, he's not in the red, so I'm fine with that. All right, so we actually have, from what I can see, all of the best parts being used by Boris. Which is good. All right. Let's continue. We've got that done. Let's go to the race. Now, this is a top speed oriented track that we're going to be doing. And we'll have to see. We're going to have, well, sunny weather was predicted for the race. You know, I should have checked after we got our Better Forecasting Center to see if we get a more accurate result. It does look like with that Better Forecasting Center, I see further into the future, which is good to see. All right, so we're going to be using Shen here and Mustafa for the initial setup. Let's go ahead and change Boris's setup first. We're going to need more downforce here. I'm going a little overboard, I think, on that. We'll try that to start. Handling, we're kind of in the middle here, so I'm going to go with that. It does look like we need a little bit longer gearing. So I'll set it up something like that. That will be our initial setup. I'm going to go with normal softs here, just to see how they handle the temperature. Or we could go with super soft to see how they handle the temperature. Let's take a look at. Well, yeah, I'll go softs with her. I'll do super softs with Mustafa here. So, again, we're going to need more downforce, but probably not quite as much as we need in the other car. Handling, we need to definitely stiffen up quite a lot, actually. And we also need to go with longer gear ratios, which is also going to help a little bit in that regard. Probably going to have to stiffen this up as far as it will go. All right, we'll see how that does. And I'm going to give him super softs. Might be hard to get the handling dialed in. All right, let's go ahead and take the practice here. All right, let's first send out Mustafa here. And race trim, that's the only trim we have. Here you go. And away we go. So I'm going to keep an eye on this neutral stance, how our tires heat up. All right, we did manage to get out in front of the pack, so hopefully we don't have to wait. We don't have these guys getting in our way too much, and we can get our guys going full tilt here. I missed what she said. Let's make the handling a bit stiffer. Okay. Well, we made it as stiff as we can. Depending on how his gear ratios need to go, though, we could probably improve that. All right, they're doing pretty good here. All right, handling is off. Temperatures seem to be a little bit on the low side for the softs and neutral for the super softs. Okay, downforce is good. That's good to see. So super softs might be enticing just because of the temperatures in those tires are going to be at the neutral point for the most part. All right, so Shen's not very happy with the setup of Boris's car. Hopefully that's not going to be too bad off. Let's go to Mustafa here. All right, perfect gear ratios. So we're not going to be able to do much with the gearing. And we're already good on downforce from what I remember on his car. So the only real thing that's off on his car is handling, which we're not going to be able to do anything about because we can't make it any stiffer than it already is. All right, so we're excellent, poor, great. There's really no reason in my mind to change that at all. Really, honestly, this is as good as a setup as I can do because I can't make the suspension any stiffer. And moving these will only cause the speed balance to go off as well. So really, there's nothing I can do at this point. So it's just going to have to be at this. 88% is not bad, though. So what is your tire life like? Not too bad. So we'll just send them out just to get more experience on the super softs and what have you. So we'll send you out. No real changes needed. And then Shen's about to come in. And we'll see where we are. Poor, okay. All right. Well, we'll see where we need to change things. Now, I missed what she had to say about the downforce, so I'm not really sure which way to take it. Handling, it looks like we need to go a little bit stiffer. Now, we don't really need drastic changes one way or the other. And I may even go a little bit longer in the gear ratios, just to see if that improves things. And then for the downforce, I mean, it's worth taking a gamble here on which way we need to go. I am going to take it and bring it up. And we'll see if that helps. I mean, lower it, technically. So that's kind of drastic on the speed balance change. I don't want it to be so drastic there. But let's do this. Let's see what she has to say about it. And we'll keep her on the softs. All right, out they go. We'll watch Mustafa here for a little while. So it doesn't look like we have to really worry too much about the temperatures, especially in the super softs. Maybe a little bit in the softs, but we can always push the tires to get them warmer. And it looks like we're going to get our trim level up to 2, so that's good. I always like to have that bonus. Yeah, you know, I'm not really concerned with that. Okay, way better, so we know that that was correct. We'll have to see what she has to say about handling and the gear ratios. I'm hoping I chose the right things. You know, the more I play this game, I can just kind of get a gut feeling for what is the right thing to do, regardless of what the bar says. She was at, like, what, 65%? So, if we can get it above that, that'd be nice. Alright, the handling is much better, so we took things in the right direction. So we should definitely be better with Boris's car for the race. Kind of surprised we didn't get the balance with the soft tires. Or the bonus, I mean. Alright, well. Let's see how much we've improved our cars. Based off the changes we made. Alright, so let's do the bonuses first. So we're going to do the race trim plus risk taker. And then over here, we're going to do race trim plus the refueling. Okay. So we did improve here to okay. So we could continue with the changes we made. We're at 77%, which is honestly not bad. I might just keep it as is. Yeah, all right. And then as far as the tire setup, because Mustafa has that quicker pitability, I think I'm going to go with soft tires with Boris. If he's out there a little bit longer and burns a little bit extra fuel, that's okay because we can refuel him quicker, or we can refuel him with less time, technically. All right, let's confirm that. And we are also not going to be changing Mustafa at all. We'll keep him on super softs, and we'll give him a little bit of fuel and confirm that on it. And then as far as driver strategy, I'll probably start with a little bit of pushing just to get some temperature in those tires. But then after that, we'll probably back down. Because I think this is going to be a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.